Look, today's video is about the top 10 sales strategies that you could incorporate into any industry or business that sells something and create generational wealth if you make this a habit and tradition. Now, before we start, there's 10 strategies. You don't have to do all 10. Pick one, pick two, pick three. Pick your favorite ones, but most importantly, stick to them. Make them a ritual. Put them in your calendar. Do them every single day or every single week, whenever you decide the occurrence, until they become a tradition and a habit and you don't even have to think about them no longer. Because these strategies I go over with you, I haven't just been teaching or doing them for a day or a week or a year. This has been a decade ongoing of doing the same exact things to find success and sales. So I hope you enjoy. And before we start, make sure you like, subscribe, and share the channel with anybody you love. We're doing this for you. Let's get started. Before we get into the strategies, let's start with how to make it a habit. Well, to make it a habit, there's a cue, there's a thought, there's an action, and there's a reward. So for example, I come into my house and I see the bag of Doritos. That's the cue. It's right there on the counter and I see it. Then I get the thought of eating the bag of Doritos. Then I take action because of the thought and eat the bag of Doritos. And then I get the reward of chewing the bag of Doritos and it going down. You have to do the same exact thing with these strategies. You have to create a cue. Like a cue would be the follow-up plays in front of your desk as soon as you get there. You see it, then the thought comes into play. You think about me saying this play is going to make you millions of dollars. Then you do action because of that play. And then you continuously do action until you find the reward. You start converting more clients because of this follow-up play. That's a random example, but I want you to think about how you could apply this method to the strategies you're going to incorporate. Then the last public service announcement is make sure you take care of you first. Your health, your body, your mind, your relationships, your family, your friends, your passions. Because if you're not doing all of those things and taking care of your personal life, it's going to be hard to flourish in your business life. And I've learned this time and time over again. Let's jump straight into it. Strategy number one is you can't outwork the clock, but you could outwork the clock if you do it right. Meaning, I don't want you to work long hours, 15-hour days, 16-hour days, and do that all year because that's going to dry out real quick and make you very depressed in the long run. What I'd rather you do is choose strategic times to work longer hours. Meaning when I was a banker, I used to work the days before the holidays. Why? Because nobody else would work them. So Christmas Eve, I would work. New Year's Eve, I would work. The day before Thanksgiving, I would work. I'd work longer hours on those days because I knew everybody's packing it in, taking holidays, and going off. So just by choosing strategic days to work. Another example is if your market changes or something crazy happens in your market where there's a frenzy of business, you might want to work longer hours in those times. So strategy number one, choose the times that it would make sense for you to work longer hours and don't make longer hours an everlasting habit. Strategy number two, outsmart the clock. This is not about working longer hours. This is about working smarter hours. The best example I could give you is when I used to work, Thursday used to be my slowest day of the week. So what I would do strategically is I would take Thursdays off as a personal day because Saturday and Sunday were the hottest days to work where nobody really wanted to work because we'd get a lot of clients answering our calls on the weekends. So instead of working Thursday, I would do all my personal errands on that day. Then I put a couple hours on Saturday, a couple hours on Sunday, which generated me more business than that full Thursday would have generated me. So I was working smarter and not harder. Another example is like, don't take doctor appointments on Mondays and Tuesdays if you could choose. Don't go on vacation Monday through Friday. Go on vacation Thursday through Sunday. So just choosing strategic times that are smarter for you to work and smarter for you to not work throughout the year can make a big difference. Strategy number three, one of my favorites, leverage all your resources. Meaning don't only call, don't only text, don't only leave voicemails, don't only leave emails, but do all of them at once, land, air, and sea. Every single time I call, I leave a voicemail, I always text, and I always send an email. This way you figure out what kind of communicator your client is. That's one benefit because some people are audio learners, kinesthetic learners, visual learners. So through those methods of communication, you're gonna figure out exactly which one they are. But also, some people hide behind layers of communication, meaning some people don't want to answer your phone call because they're scared to talk, but they'll answer your text. Some people don't want to say yes in text, but if they see a nice visual in an email, they might show it to their spouse and say yes there. So you figure out also what layers of communication they like to use. And then lastly, it shows that you're super high level and professional. Because if you're competing with a competitor and all the competitor is doing is calling, but you're texting, emailing, leaving a voicemail, having good context within those, then you're already ahead of the curve and ahead of the competition every single time. Number four, have a morning ritual. It's one thing to have a morning ritual for yourself, workout, meditate, sauna, ice bath, whatever it is that you want to do to get yourself going. But have a morning ritual for your business after that, meaning the first 15 to 30 minutes after having a clean desk, clearing your voicemails, emails, texts, scheduling your day, having your goals and purpose in front of you. All that stuff is important to start your day on fire, but also send out a couple messages in the morning. Send out some emails. Maybe you send out a referral play. Make a play in the morning, send it out like missiles. That way throughout the day as you're prospecting, you're getting messages back and now you're gaining positive momentum, which is so important, especially in sales. If I'm trying to cold call people and I'm trying to make new sales and I get positive messages back from people that could potentially be sales, now my confidence is up here. So have a morning ritual in your business that starts a fire. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the video. Look, one way that I keep my mind focused on positivity all day long is by placing motivational objects all around me. Everywhere I look, I see it. That's why we came up with our own motivational gear. Look, if you're interested in shirts, hoodies, pens, posters, cups that have motivational messages that'll reprogram your mind for the better, click the link in the bio. Now, let's get back to the video. Which takes us to number 5. Some people say, well, I'm not really a morning person. I just like to get in and get going. All right, make an evening ritual. This is the same exact thing as the morning, but do it at night instead so you don't have to do anything in the morning. Meaning before you leave, you clear your voicemails, your emails, your text, you clean your desk, you schedule your day for tomorrow, you put your goals and purpose in front of you, you're ready to rock and roll, you leave with a clear mind, clear slate, which is gonna give you balance because you don't have to rethink about what you left if you missed any appointments. So that's gonna clear your head and give you mental clarity. But also you send 5 to 10 messages at night. Maybe some emails, maybe some texts, have a good dinner with your wife. Hey, I hope Bobby wins a soccer game. Something to make the client know that you remembered them. That way you come in the morning to the positive momentum and fire with clients responding back to your text and email and starting your production for the next day the evening before. Strategy number 6, outwork your cold clients. Now, what do I mean when I say cold clients? I mean clients that are not ready to move forward with you right now. It might be clients that have had crazy things happen in their life, death, divorce, sickness, a crazy life circumstance that they can't just talk to you right now. Or clients that don't qualify for you right now. Well, a lot of people think when these clients are ready, they're gonna go to the first person they spoke to. I'm sorry to tell you, that's not the case. They're gonna go to the person that's there right then and there. So what you have to do is, you have to create a strategy where you keep up with these clients. Maybe you check up on them bi-weekly, maybe monthly, maybe you do emails, maybe you do text, maybe you do holiday cards. Figure out a way to stay close to your cold business and your cold business will stay close to you. Which leads me to 7, stay close to your book of business. Outwork your book of business, meaning the clients that you've done business with before or that you've spoken with before, do they remember you and are they gonna come back to you for life? Do you have a picture with them in your phone book? Do you add them on social media? Do you send them holiday baskets? Do you keep in touch with them and educate them on what's going on with your product or service? Well, I'm sorry to tell you, same thing like cold clients, when it's time for them to do business again, they're not gonna come to you unless you kept the relationship very close. They're gonna go to the person that's there and doing the best for them at that current moment. So what you have to do is create strategies to stay close to your book of business right now and keep up with it all year long. Then we go to number 8. If you wanna be known for what you do, let what you do be known. This is a very simple one. Wherever you go, whoever you interact with should know what you do. How do you do that? For example, I put my credit card in between all my business cards. So every single time I pull out my credit card, which is a lot of times because I'm at a lot of places, I automatically pull out my business cards. Go back to the habit in the beginning and making it a cue and an action and a reward. Well, that gives me the cue every single time to give a business card out. So you could put a stack of business cards in your pocket. You could wear gear and shirts that have to do with your business. You could paint your car. You could get billboards. You could speak about it everywhere you go. But if you want to be about it, you got to actually be about it everywhere you are. So one thing you could do is add referrals into your business, into your brand, and start communicating what you do everywhere you go to everyone you talk to. Which leads me to number 9, but this really should be number 1 because this is the most important part of sales, I believe, is a customer-centric approach. Meaning it's not about you. It's not about your commission. It's about the client and the customer and putting them in the middle of everything. Listening to them, actively listening to them, digging 3 layers deep, being curious, learning things that nobody else would, customizing a solution that doesn't only benefit them for your product or service, but benefits them for what their life is going to look like after your product or service. That's where the gold is. And if you do that, you're going to create great relationships, and you could probably cancel out 2 or 3 of the other strategies because you've done so good with keeping the customer in the middle, getting their emotional benefits, and creating a great relationship. That follows through your follow-up when you're emailing, texting, voicemailing. That's going to go and show right in there the emotional benefits in the relationship. It goes when you add them on social media. It goes when you check up on them in the future. You never ever forget about the relationship, and that's key. Which leads us to our last one, number 10. Don't go to buy fish in the fisherman's market. Go fish in the ocean where all the fish are. This is a big one, but you find one networking event that you could go to throughout the year where you're going to get a ton of leads, more leads than you know what to do with. A great example of this would be if I do mortgages, I could go to a first-time home buyer convention with thousands of people that are going to learn about how to buy their first home. Those thousands of people are leads that I could focus on, create relationships with, and ultimately help them find their first home. That's me going to the ocean of first-time home buyers instead of calling one by one. What is it in your business? Is there a show that you could go to? Is there a networking event? Is there somebody within your process where they all get together and they can help you and you can help them? Who are the referral sources you could go to? Who are people that talk to the same exact people you talk to? How could you connect with them? And this one is a big one, so you only got to do it once or twice a year, but plan those times right now, pay for the events, book it in your calendar, and make sure it happens. Those are 10 main strategies that we just went over to increase your sales, maximize your revenue, make you an absolute shark. Remember, I want to mention this to you. The only way these work, they're not going to work in a day. They're not going to work in a week. They're not going to work in a month. The only way these work is if you make them a habit and a stain. Call me on month 5, call me on month 6, call me on month 7, let me know what's going to happen. That's when it's going to work. These are habits and not actions. If you need anything else, we have an academy online that's virtual. We coach you every single week. We give you templates, presentations. Everything you need to know about sales and leadership is inside of there, changing thousands of lives. I'd love to have you. I'd even offer you a 7-day free trial. If you need any free stuff, check out my website. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the channel with anybody you love. We're doing this for you, and I hope you could take some of these strategies and explode your sales.